everybody. Welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
I'm Tom Hovland.
And it's been a long break. It's been over a month, and I thought we'd have to tune back into you guys and talk some off-season news. But guys, it's been a crazy off-season so far. We got a lot of news that has come in. But first off, guys, how has the off-season been treating you guys so far?
Well, it's honestly, I miss racing a lot, but I've had time for myself. I haven't touched iRacing since 3 weeks to go in the season, which, if you know how much iRacing costs, I'm kind of regretting it. But it's been nice to just kind of be away from racing a little bit. But that doesn't mean I don't miss it. I got my Chase Piece Diecast that I can't share with you today, but I'm so excited to have that one. But yeah, no, stuff's good. I'm still thinking about racing all the time, but there's nothing to watch.
Yeah, for me, it was a nice little break, but after 2 weeks, I was like, man, I want racing back on my TV. It was a good little cleanse, but yeah, just been working a ton, and now I want race cars back on my TV. So let's get to Daytona already. Let's get to February.
Yeah, I feel you guys. It's already felt way too long. I miss watching racing. So far I'm just sick of watching football, and especially with the Bears. I just want my racing back, boys.
But
Tom,
listen,
you can't really say the same.
Well,
much either.
The Packers aren't doing, but I didn't have too much high hopes for the season. But here we are. 2 weeks, it'll be January. January means Rolex 24. Rolex 24 means Clash. Clash means Daytona. So we are so blessed as racing fans, and especially if you want to just take in even more than just NASCAR. You get so much racing, and the off season is truly so short. You don't have to go without it for long.
Yep. Really, the Rolex 24 is pretty much like the kickoff to racing season for me. It's once it's Rolex time, then you got NASCAR 3 weeks after that. So yeah, it's go time.
But even then, do they really stop? Because they just did the Snowball Derby, and then we're gonna have the Chili Bowl before we even have Rolex. So the big events are happening all year round.
Yep. It's a great time to be a racing fan. But guys, before we dig into more of our show, let's talk our Diecast of the week. Tom, what you got for us, buddy?
All right. I'm in the middle of working through. It was in the background of all the videos for the end of the year. It's the Lionel Racing Advent Calendar. I'm getting a 164th car starting every day. So I got them all stacked up here. There's some neat pieces in here. I think my favorite so far is the Jimmy Johnson
Kevin Harvick one?
Oh, no,
damn.
That was my least favorite one. The Jimmy Johnson black and gold. So we're going to go for day 9. It's right up here. I don't know what this is going to be. So let's find out who we got. Oh, I feel a truck.
Matty D.
And we're pretty sure we know whose truck this is because there's one on the front of the box. And I guess my diecast of the day is this Haley Deegan pristine auction truck. So good for us.
Three-time most popular.
Starting off right.
Starting the off season off just great. No, it's a good looking scheme though. For real, there's good clean lines and everything on here. So I'm not mad about it. I like pristine auction. That's where I got my other cool diecast that I'll share sometime.
Yeah, later. There you go, man.
Put her right next to Kevin over here.
All right, Nick, who you got for this week?
So this one is my most recent purchase. I haven't bought a diecast in probably 2 to 3 years. I mean, the last one I played was the Hemrick race win, and that was a gift to me. I haven't bought a diecast in 3 years. But this one I did. I bought it during the Circle B the Black Friday sale. I got it for $25, and I thought, why not? So we're going back to Phoenix, where it's still a Daniel Hemrick car. It is the Xfinity Series championship car. So a little different from the race win, but yeah, this was probably my favorite paint scheme that he has ever ran. The Poppy Bank colors just go so well, and yeah, it's a little bit different. And it was $25 on the Circle B website during their Black Friday sale, and that for my first diecast I bought in 2 to 3 years, I'd say this was a good one. I really loved the box that it came with. I don't have it on me right now. It's farther off in the distance, but I really like the box that it came with. It was just him with his Xfinity Series championship trophy, him doing the burnouts. Really detailed box, and yeah, just another cool car to add to the collection.
I like the red accents on that. Like it's a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit special. It's got the playoff markers on there. It's got the Xfinity insignia on the top. Like it's a good looking car.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. I've always been a big fan of the Poppy Bank cars for him, Doug. All right, for my diecast of the week, it was just announced Eric Almirola. He's going to be part-time over at Joe Gibbs Racing. We kind of heard a little leak from Joe Gibbs telling some Washington Commanders coaches a couple weeks ago. Caught that right on camera saying, meet Eric. He's my new driver. We're like, well, yeah, the cat's out of the fucking bag.
And you can't blame the boss when he makes a gaffe like that. He's just the boss. That was when it was supposed to come out.
Yep, he's just doing his thing. So Almirola's back with Joe Gibbs Racing. That's where his career started with him in NASCAR. And Noah Gragson will be driving the 10 for Stewart-Haas Racing. He's back, going to be redeeming himself once again. So I'm excited to see what he can do. But yeah, I had to bring out my Eric Almirola 10 car. Got it signed by Eric and Tony Stewart on the car.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm happy I got this one at least.
I gotta add, why did you get an Eric? What brought you to get an Eric Almirola car?
This was a Black Friday deal for Plan B, and it was signed by Almirola and Tony Stewart, and it was only like $40. I was like,
why not?
Why not? Why not?
Maybe Joe Gibbs will finally let him win a race.
Yeah, instead of taking him out of the car and let Denny finish the race for him.
Yeah,
that was bullshit.
That wasn't Joe Gibbs' fault. That was the sponsor. We know the story well.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's still fun to joke about.
Yep. But, all right, guys, let's get into the show. We got a lot of stories to cover. First one, I just said it. Noah Gragson will be going to the 10 car at Stewart-Haas Racing. Big redemption story for this kid. Made a big mistake last year. It really seems like he's making up for his mistakes. He's trying to be a better person, and I love to see that out of the kid. I'm willing to give him another chance and be there and support him. So good for him. And Stewart-Haas Racing, it's crazy. There is no veteran drivers over there. The longest driver that's been over there is Chase Briscoe since 2021. So going to be a lot of learning curves with this young new team, and especially with a lot of sponsors leaving too, with Hunt Brothers Pizza going over to Joey, Busch Beers going over to Ross Chastain. I feel like
they also just
sponsor.
dropped their esports program as of today, so that was a very interesting development from that aspect. But no, there's something like 7 years combined of the 4 drivers of full-time Cup Series experience. Eric Jones is about to hit his 7th year of full-time Cup Series. Like, that is a team that is one Eric Jones spread across all 4 cars. Like, that's there, and with how they performed last year, Noah Gragson is not going to be the savior of Stewart-Haas. Neither is Josh Berry. So it's a little bit interesting. You wonder how far they're going to fall before they pick themselves back up, or they could very well surprise us. Who knows?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of growing pains for this team.
I think, definitely for going back to the Gragson thing, I think a second chance is deserved here. It seems like he's really taken his time to grow as a human, and with all the things he's done, he's very wary of a second chance. But yeah, this season as a whole for him, he's going from a really crappy car in the 42 last year into the 10. It's going to be an interesting year for the entire organization. I don't see a ton of success coming out of SHR this year, just losing a guy like Kevin Harvick and losing all these sponsors. Like, I don't really like this lineup right now for Stewart-Haas Racing. It's going to take a lot of growing, but this is going to be an interesting year. Like, they could be like anywhere from a 14th to 22nd place organization. So we'll just have to see. And that's just really crazy to see, because you have your biggest star in Kevin Harvick leaving the organization. It's like, well, what the fuck do we do now? Like,
and one of Kevin Harvick's sponsors, you mentioned it with the Hunt Brothers Pizza. Well, yeah, you have Busch Beer leaving them, but also with the Hunt Brothers Pizza leaving Kevin Harvick for not even one of Kevin Harvick's drivers. You'd think that would go to Ryan Preece or somebody that represents him, but no, they jumped over to Penske. They jumped over to Joey Logano. which I can never stand behind. I don't know why anybody would want to support Joey Logano.
And Smithfield too. I mean, they were the
Yeah,
anchor
yeah.
sponsor for Almirola for so long. Once they
Mhm.
left, that's the reason why Almirola went down part-time. So 3 huge sponsors gone in one season is going to be a really tall hill to climb
This
after.
really could be
Yeah.
like the season of hell for Stewart-Haas Racing. Like these guys are going to struggle because Noah Gragson, he doesn't even have a sponsor right now. I don't think. But I would be.
He's
I
got
would.
he's got Bass
I would
Pro and
say.
Black Rifle.
I would say because yeah, like they said, like they're still trying to work out the sponsors. But I'd be willing to bet that Bass Pro and Black Rifle Coffee are going to come over. But yeah, for these other guys, does Josh Berry? I don't think Josh Berry has a sponsor right now, and he's taking over the premier car for that organization, the 4 car. And I don't think there's any sponsors listed for him at this point because, yeah, I don't know. Like this would be a very interesting year for Stewart-Haas Racing.
If I could play devil's advocate for just a second, like we're all saying this, nobody's expecting anything from this team this year. They've lost so much. They don't have experience on their side. I don't think they have much pressure on them. I think they're going to work on themselves. And this year, they're probably not that they're going to show up, not that they're going to lay down and take it, but this season's basically a wash for them. So just work on themselves, work on that team chemistry, and come back stronger. I mean, we saw this with Hendrick Motorsports a couple of years ago. Not that they're losing a bunch of sponsors, but you had Junior and Jimmy and Jeff all leave back to back, basically. And you had a bunch of young guys who you just didn't know how it's going to go. And look at them now; they're winning championships, they're competing.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think they need to put so much pressure on themselves. Yeah, it's going to suck to be an SHR fan this year. It's going to not be fun to be an SHR crew member or driver. But they need to know what their eyes are focused on, and that's not going out there and setting the world on fire. They're gonna try to light their own little fires.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back on the sponsorship thing, I have seen that Wendy's does still follow Noah Gragson on all social media platforms, so they still might have that connection with him. So he could still be bringing in a huge sponsor like that, and we know how much money Bass Pro brings in, so could be big things. And Josh Berry has that connection with Bass Pro as well. So did Tony. He used to run those paint schemes too. So it could be a big thing for Stewart-Haas to bring that big sponsor back.
I think the only big sponsor we're going to see all year is Haas Tooling, Haas Automation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're gonna Cole Custer it the whole season.
Maybe they're hiding something up their sleeves. Maybe they're signing a bunch of little things like we see RCR do now. But I don't see him pulling any major stuff in.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Time will tell. This is why I love the off season, because we just always kind of speculate on who's coming in, what cars, like for what paint schemes. So it's gonna be a fun time.
Plus, you talk about what cars. They have a brand new car too with Ford. Those fenders look nuts.
Dark Horse looks beautiful.
Yeah. So like, who knows how that's going to affect anything? Obviously Ford's not going to try to make their car worse. So maybe they found something. Yeah. Maybe that's the advantage Stewart-Haas needs to come out of the gate swinging.
And then Toyota looked at that and said, "Let's make a very ugly Toyota Camry." My God,
even the new street Camry I think is worse. A Prius looks better than the new Camry. Like the new Prius looks way better than the new Camry, and that's a wild statement for me to make. But here we are.
Yeah, totally agree. Like when I saw that 43 come out for the testing at Phoenix, and I saw the front end, I was like, "Ooh,
yeah."
That does
it was a test scheme.
Good.
They're not trying to make it look nice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just very odd looking.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So yeah, we got the new cars with the Fords and the Toyotas. Speaking of Toyotas, Sheldon Creed is moving over to the 18 Xfinity car at Joe Gibbs Racing. We already knew that. Austin Hill broke the news for us. Yeah. And then Chandler Smith is going to be joining him as well. They're bringing back the number 81. We saw that run a couple times a few years ago with Joe Gibbs. And Eric Almirola and Nemechek are going to be splitting the 20 ride in the Xfinity Series. And then we have a huge lineup for the 19 car. Taylor Gray, the Gray brothers are going to be coming in. William Sawalich, Joe Graff, Ryan Truex. They're all going to be splitting this 19 ride.
I still think Sheldon Creed has more talent than those 4 drivers combined. So huge just a number.
Yeah.
not really in talent.
Yeah, so I think the 19 car is kind of the doofus car for Joe
It
Gibbs
really,
Racing,
it is the doofus car.
except for Ryan Truex.
Ryan Truex is the only one I think
Yeah.
that
Well,
earned
he won a race
that
last
opportunity.
year. Yeah.
He's the only one
sure.
that earned that opportunity. The rest of these guys, it's the money car. It's what it is.
Yeah. Well, Toyota wants to develop those guys. So, well, at least the
oh yeah.
Grays.
Yeah, at least the Grays and the Sawalets, and then you just got big old dipshit Joe Graff Jr. He's just bringing in somehow this guy's got money and
Hey, let's be nice to Joe
he's
Graff
gonna
Jr. He
go
follows me on Instagram. We got to keep
he's
that
gonna
Oh, he
relationship.
follows me on Instagram too. He follows everybody.
he's gonna go light the world on fire when he runs 19th in the 19 car 2 laps
Yeah.
down, like he did this past year. But yeah, it just goes to show that's where this is at. This is where Gibbs is at. It's all about the money. He's bringing in the money. I think it's a good opportunity for the Gray brothers. William Sawalich, yeah, cool. I guess.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares? Like he's going from ARCA to Xfinity. He's gonna get a real wake up call when he doesn't have 20 other shit boxes running on the racetrack where he can just go out and dominate the whole thing. So, yeah. But for Almirola and for Nemechek splitting that ride, what a huge opportunity this is for Eric Almirola. I mean, good lord. And I expect him to do good things. I really do.
See you later, field. Like, come on.
Yeah, I really expect him to do great things in this car. I expect multiple wins on the season. And yeah, just with him and Nemechek, that whole car, like that might win an owner's championship right there. Just the two of them in that car combined.
Yeah.
Like, that's
well,
good.
and
That's a great ride.
Again, look what Eric Almirola did in a Haas prepared like RMS racing car last year on a one-off, the number 29. Like he won a race and he beat out Kyle Larson in a Hendrick prepared car. Like, are you kidding me? Like putting him in the 20 car, I think first of all, it'll be great for closure for Eric Almirola. Because again, we joked about it earlier, but like that's I'm sure still leaves a sour taste in his mouth. And again, it's just a great opportunity, and you go out there and win. This is why you do these part-time. That's why Jimmy Johnson's still racing. He just loves to race. This guy loves to race. Let him go race in a good car. He's still got good talent. He showed it last year. I don't hate this at all.
Yeah, no, definitely good for Eric Almirola. And with John Hunter Nemechek still running this 20 car, still gives me the feeling that they're just waiting for Martin Truex to retire, and they're just going to throw him right into that 19. So definitely that 42 is just going to be a filler ride for Joe Gibbs drivers for the next few years while they wait for these old guys to pass through.
Saying Joe Graff to the 42.
You shut the hell up.
No,
you
man.
Stop it. I'm disconnecting this call right now. I'm over this.
The development driver, man. You got to get them in there. You got to get them while they're
you
young.
Stop it. You stop it right now. He barely runs better in the 19 than he does in the 38 on a weekly basis.
Let Joe Graff cook. Let him cook.
Let him cook. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't. It'll be another season of rooting for his failures, like you did last year. So can't wait.
Hey man, he's taking Trevor's ride. That's what's happening. That's why you're
mad. I mean, at the end of the day, it's something I knew was going to happen. It's a money thing. That's why Joe Graff is in that seat, is because somehow, some way, that dude has found some money and he's found a sponsor to go.
He sold his speakers collection. Like
that is why he's in that ride, and why my boy is not. But that's okay. I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I never had high hopes that something good was ever going to come out of this. Maybe we'll get a deal like we did last year. Give me 3-4 races, and let's do the best we can. So we'll see.
Listen, I'm one of the weird Kyle Busch fans that still stuck on with Joe Gibbs Racing after Kyle left, and I like their Xfinity program. I think it's fun to watch every week, and it's fun to cheer for winners. Joe Graff could be a winner, maybe.
You shut the hell up.
That 19 car won a race last year. That's all I'm saying. So,
but Joe Graff running 19, 2 laps down.
Hey, in iRacing, when I finish my car number, I feel great about it. So he can.
Right? Well, I don't. I usually drive number 97. So. All right, guys. So Daytona 500 news. Anthony Alfredo will be running the 62 for Beard Motorsports. Going to be attempting that one. They said also the Talladega races. So makes it feel like that they're just gonna be doing their normal super speedway races
Yeah.
for Beard. So
Yeah,
great
cool.
opportunity for Anthony Alfredo, but this makes me think, is Austin Hill going to be possibly running a third ride for Richard Childress Racing? Because they like to have him come up and run these super speedway races. We know he's really good. Is it possible that they'll open up a third one for him?
You got to remember, Atlanta is after Daytona this year. These engines need to last. And
Yeah.
there's already 5 or 6 open cars. I don't know if these guys want to spend the money and send out engines everywhere. Like, it's throwing a whole weird wrench in the open car thing for the 500 this year. It's going to be interesting because you got the 60, you got the 84, you got the 90. Is Shane running 91? No, he's running 97 now.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
Well, I can't.
so
I don't know what his cup car is going to be. I
Wait,
know
Fair
the
enough.
is
Xfinity
he
is 97.
attempting? Is he even
yeah,
attempting Daytona 500?
I think
Yeah.
so. Or maybe it's no, because yeah, Zane Smith's there, but he's not an open car anymore. But like, you got to remember, the engine builders are also trying to build engines for Atlanta at the same time. It's back to back.
Mhm.
It's weird. So I don't know. Maybe Austin Hill just wanted to focus on Xfinity. I don't know.
Could be. I mean, possibly his final season in the Xfinity Series. So yeah, just let him focus on a full season and win a championship.
I mean, it should be. It should be his last year in Xfinity. Dude's ready to go cup racing. I think this is. I don't think he'll be in the 500. Just let him focus on one final ride down in the Xfinity Series, and then he'll be up racing with these boys next year.
And I think it's good for Anthony Alfredo because he was with the money team these last couple of years for this race, and they just didn't have the experience to put a good car out on the track. But we know that the Beard Motorsports car has the capability of showing up and competing. So I think it's a better opportunity for him, and he's not just trying to be a pay driver to get this weird team off the ground. These guys, yeah, they're tiny, but they know what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so good for them. Allmendinger is going to be running full time in the Xfinity Series. We kind of saw that one coming. I think he wants to go and win a championship.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I just he came out and said that he wanted to go. He wanted to be in the Cup Series. He wanted to be in the Cup Series, but at the end of the day, was AJ Allmendinger happy on Sundays again? Because that was his big thing when he was riding with the 47 team. Is he wasn't happy, and it seemed like he hated his job. And yeah, he won a race this past season in the Cup Series, but other than that, it just kind of looked like the 47 of AJ Allmendinger was out there again. Just didn't look like he was having a lot of fun. I just think that's what it comes down to. And I think that's what Chris Rice and Matt Cog were picking up on. It's like, we want AJ with our program, but we need to keep him happy. And he just didn't look all that happy racing on Sundays. So let him go back down to the Xfinity Series where he looked the happiest he could be, and let him cook, because AJ in the Xfinity Series, that's a different animal right there. So I see it both ways. I'm sure AJ was upset because you never want to give up a cup ride. Like, let's be real. You never want to give up a seat on Sundays to go back down to Saturdays. But I think this is good for AJ, and I think this is to keep the guy happy because Cog really wants him around. This is their guy right here. So I think that's why they're doing it.
I think if anybody appreciates the novelty of having a cup ride, it's AJ Allmendinger. Every time he wins, he's very emotional about it. He loves to be there. He says every time, you don't know when the last one's going to happen. I just think there's too much blame getting put on AJ Allmendinger for the struggles of colleague in the Cup Series. They just didn't bring it last year, but again, they started trending up in the right direction towards the end of the season. He won a race. He won the Roval. Like, he can do it. He still got it. And colleague needs to step up and get him better equipment, and maybe they just don't have the funds from AJ to make that happen.
They just need to step up their intermediate programs if they need to do. And that just seems to be because AJ was great on those road courses, but when we went to other tracks, he just looked like the Allmendinger of old. But down in the Xfinity Series, those intermediate tracks, they started to come to life for him a little bit. Once he got that first intermediate win in the Xfinity Series is when, what was that, like Atlanta? It might have been Atlanta or Kansas. I don't remember where it was.
It was
He got
Atlanta.
Or it was Atlanta when he won that race.
It was like 2020.
Something like that. Yeah, it was like, okay, he can get it done. But yeah, I agree with Tom. I think that the College Cup program needs to step up in other departments, and because I think AJ should be in a Cup ride, but I just think they're doing this just to keep the guy happy and want to keep him still racing because it didn't look like he was having a whole lot of fun this year, minus that win.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a business. It's a tough
totally
business.
agree. Yeah, but he will still be running a select number of Cup Series races as well. He's going to be running the Daytona 500 for College Racing. I'm sure he's going to be running all the road course races. But guys, College Racing is going to be stacked with talent in road course racing in the Xfinity Series with Allmendinger going full time, SVG going full time.
Who saw that coming? Who saw that coming?
Yeah, I did
sit
not.
With College, hell no. College,
Yeah.
hell yeah, no
Well,
way.
yeah, no, and just again, the plan with at least this year, they're just like trying to fit him in when they could, not get him a full-time ride somewhere. Like
Mhm.
that's why like he's going to be championship eligible, and he could steal a win, make a run in the playoffs. Like who knows? Who knows?
See,
I
for
just think
me,
that's a great thing. I'm excited to watch him.
I'm very excited to watch him. I'm excited to see him strap into to an ARC car when we get down to Daytona. He's gonna be like, "What the?" His first time on a super speedway is gonna be in a fucking ARC car.
Maybe in a
He's
go-kart,
gonna
he'll be
be
going slow enough.
He's gonna be like, "What in the world am I getting myself into here?" With these guys, but yeah, it's gonna be I'm very excited for SVG this year. I think there's going to be some growing pains once we get to some of these short track, intermediate tracks he hasn't run before, tracks he's not familiar with. So practically the whole damn schedule here. It's gonna be a good test for him to
And
see
he's
where he
gonna
can
be
go.
in
But
hell. He's gonna be in hell for the playoff Martinsville race. Oh my god.
well, he's just gonna be any track he hasn't been to. It's just gonna be growing pains for him. But
Mhm.
I don't think we need to. I'm not setting the bar very high for him this year. My bar for him is obviously top tens for him are going to be great. Anywhere from 10th to like 13th, I think it's a good day for him at the office. He needs to learn. Like he hasn't run these kind of tracks before. He's doing this for a reason. He wants to be in this sport, which is what I think is awesome. He won that race that's in Chicago, and he he left the series he was in. He's like, I want to do NASCAR. He is committed to NASCAR.
Yeah, SVG's just like I said. Like you said, he's top tens are his goal. He's gonna have those growing pains, but again, he's got to steal a win at a road course and make the playoffs. College racing is good at Xfinity Series racing. They weren't so great last season, and then Trackhouse is going to give him full support. And Trackhouse is good at showing up and racing.
Sure.
But what's almost more interesting is about everybody's saying this week that Marcus Ambrose is ahead of his time because now you have SVG coming over here full time with Trackhouse. You've got Brody Kostecki who's going to make select starts with RCR, and then you have Cam Waters, this other hot shot coming over from the Supercar series. He's going to allegedly make some starts in the resurrected 60 car for RFK in select starts, and it seems like everybody wants to make their own little Project 91 cards. It really seems like Justin Marks has started it, and the fact that this car is so heavily modeled off that Australian supercar, you got a lot of these guys interested, and that's going to be a different yet fun battle to watch, is when these guys get in the car and they're battling each other to see how that's like and how they adapt.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. A new era of NASCAR. Got a lot of different guys from different kinds of racing coming over and trying it out. I love to see it. Gets more eyes on the sport from all over the world.
For sure.
All right, and some big news in the spotter world. Eddie DeHaan surprised everybody and is moving over to the 4 team with Josh Berry, moving away from Chase Elliott. Crazy move, guys. Eddie DeHaan has been with that 9 team for a while, and moving over to a rookie, gonna help him out and work with a new team. So, guys, that's some pretty huge news right there. One of the best spotters in the game.
I wonder if that came from Josh filling in for the 9 car. Do they think they built a good relationship and
it really could have
poached
maybe
him, or did Eddie DeHaan want to leave after maybe Chase didn't have such a good year and he's like, I'll try something. Like it's a very interesting. I'm sure more will come out about what caused that move.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's huge for Josh Berry having such a veteran voice in your ears going racing on Sunday. So that's big for Josh right there.
My favorite Eddie DeHaan moment still, it was during the Hail Melon, and he just goes, "What the hell?" So he had no words for it.
Right.
But it's splitting up that group, that duo. They've had a lot of success. Did they announce who Chase's replacement is then? Is it gonna be Bill Elliott again, like he does on the
I'm not
road
sure.
courses sometimes?
I have not seen who's going to be Elliot's spotter, but guess we'll have to look out for that.
Yeah.
And then Hunt Brothers Pizza announced that they are going to be sponsoring Joey Logano moving over from that 4-car of Kevin Harvick and moving over to a completely different team with Team Penske. I really thought that they were going to stay with Ryan Preece. They sponsored his car a few times, and they sponsored him in the Truck Series. He's a Kevin Harvick incorporated driver, but yep, sucks to see another major sponsor leaving Stewart-Haas Racing and going over to the 22 team. So, that just sucks to see Joey Logano get another good sponsor.
They went where they went to the bigger team at this point. They see this. I think they're sensing they're going to be sensing a down year at SHR. Who knows? But yeah, they're going to the bigger team, and you want a guy you want to put your brand on a car that's going to go out and run up front, and that's what the 22 team does. They go out and they run up front.
It's like the stock market. Once one leaves, the other's like, well, the team's not going to be any great, and then they're going to bail, and everybody's trying to wholesale out of SHR because now without the backing, then they're not going to run as well. They're not going to get up front. They're not going to get put on TV. Yada yada yada. I'm just so sad that I'll never get to try Hunt Brothers Pizza for the first time because Joey Logano.
It's not that good.
I was going to say, yeah, it's probably
it's like anything you buy at a gas station is not going to be all that great. Although Casey's Pizza is pretty good. I'll stop for a slice of Casey's Pizza.
Yeah, okay, Kyle Busch fan.
I'm like Matthew McConaughey. I've been eating Casey's Pizza a lot longer than they've been paying me to eat Casey's Pizza.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, and our last bit of news, and it's a big one. Huge new TV deal for NASCAR coming in 2025 for the next 7 years going on. So it's going to go on like normal. Fox Sports is going to carry the first 14 races. And they're going to carry practice and qualifying for the Clash and the Daytona 500 and the Truck Series. It's going to be the same. They're going to be solely on FS1 for years to come, which I think is just a stinker. I think it sucks. Fox does a terrible job with broadcasting, and they do an even worse job with the Truck Series broadcasting, especially with who they're putting up in the booth as well.
Well,
up in the booth, they're in the studio.
They're in the studio.
Well, yeah, they're in. They're not even at the.
Putting up in the booth. They're putting them in a broom closet. Oh, it's
that's
awful.
The worst part of the Truck Series is that they're not even at the racetrack anymore.
I got nothing against Jamie Little, but I just don't think she's very good play-by-play.
No, she's a great reporter. She does a great job down in the pits, but she just, I don't know, she doesn't have like the wit to kind of call a race like as it's going. I don't know. But she does a great job reporting. I will give her that.
Okay, and then through the first 14 weeks of the Cup Series.
First 14 weeks, and then it looks like Prime Video is going to be taking over after that.
Five, right?
For 5 Cup Series races. Part of who are they going to be having? I think not the Coca-Cola 600. I'm not sure what those 5 races would be, but what I think is really cool though about Prime coming in is now we're going to have every practice and qualifying broadcasted through Prime, because before they would not broadcast some practices, some qualifying. So we get every single practice qualifying through that. So I love that. And I think it's cool with that new Prime deal because a lot of people have Amazon Prime. A lot of different things are going on there, and people are going to be going through Prime. They're going to see NASCAR, and maybe they're going to want to tune in.
I'm concerned when you start putting up this paywall. People already rebelled once NASCAR went to cable originally. Now you're going to have them.
It's that, and it's just streaming because there are people who watch races from home and they'll listen to the scanners, but So the scanners are at the racetrack, and usually like a race broadcast on normal television is maybe 30 seconds behind, maybe 15 to 30 seconds behind. But now we're going to a streaming app, and some of these streaming apps are really bad, and they could be upwards to a minute, minute and a half off of the actual liveness. So I just think there's going to be. I don't like going to streaming,
but it's a giant web operation, so maybe they could have something where it's timed together and you could choose to listen.
They got to do something about it.
There's scary bits and there's not so scary bits. You wonder who they're going to bring in as broadcast partners, who's going to do the work. You think there's going to be a lot of different options. Yeah, it's going to be around. Here's my concern. Occasionally I'll have to miss a race for work or something. I like to put on my DVR. I can watch it at my leisure. If I can't watch it live, are they going to be there? Are the races going to be around? Like these are questions that we'll need answered.
Yeah, so with like Thursday night football, I think you can like save the program and you can watch it later.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll be able. It's like a DVR, I guess.
And then again, just the jumping around, because underneath all this, and we haven't even got through the whole Cup Series thing yet, but Xfinity Series is completely removed from this. They're at the CW. So now you gotta, that's straight. You could stick a piece of foil on the back of your TV and pick up the CW. So like we used to do way back growing up.
Right.
So that's good for the Xfinity Series, but now I'm gonna have to watch the end of the season. I'm gonna get up, watch the truck races on Fox, and then have to find my Cup Series practice on True TV for some reason, and then watch Xfinity Series practice on the CW, and then go back to TNT or something because Turner's taken over which is going to be on Turner and Max. So the races are going to be streamed on Max on TNT. So I'm going to jump over to TNT for practice. Then I'm going to jump back to the CW for the Xfinity race. Then maybe go watch on Max for the Cup race. Like it seems like a maze. And it's not. You're not going to get the casual fan and be like, wait, I got to switch to a different channel now. And I got to switch again. And I got to switch again throughout the course of a weekend. That's scary. Let alone what it costs to have all these different services if you want to watch everything.
Yeah, I do see that. Yeah, and like you said, TNT, they're going to be coming back into the picture, which I absolutely love.
That's cool.
NASCAR on TNT was the best. They're going to be carrying the 5 races after Amazon is all done. And yeah, like you said, they'll be doing a simulcast with Max if you want to watch it on there, kind of like how you can watch races on Peacock now. And the second half practice and qualifying will be on True TV. So yeah, gonna have some hurdles. I mean, it's gonna be like having to go from NBC to NBC Sports with the whole TNT thing. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit different, but honestly, it ain't much different from if you're a casual football fan. You got to find a game on Fox or CBS and ESPN and all that. So
good way to look at it.
Yeah, I feel like it'll take some getting used to, but I think it's a great deal for NASCAR and everything. And then the final 14 races is going to be done with NBC, just like how we always have. Yeah, I like this TV deal. I think it's great for NASCAR.
It's a lot of money. I'm surprised that they got more money with how the ratings have been declining. Like that's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is great to see because now we can finally see more charter sales happening now because Dale Jr. was saying he's going to wait for the TV deal to happen. They want to see what the prices would be afterwards. So now we can get the ball rolling.
But the charter agreement hasn't been accepted yet.
No, has not yet. But
so NASCAR's got to allocate some of this money. Maybe that's why they went out and got more money so they could allocate more to the teams.
Yeah, I think so.
I kind of just put together now. I'm sad that we're going to lose the wonderful NBC presentation for all the Xfinity. I could pass with Fox, like fine, whatever. But like NBC does such a good job with the playoff format. And Dale Jr., I love, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I've fallen in love with Dale Jr. within the past 2 years. I think he's amazing. And we're gonna miss out on literally half of the opportunities to listen to those guys present a race. And that's kind of sad for me. So I'm curious about what talent that like Amazon brings in, the CW brings in, how NASCAR Productions and their new facility all is going to play into this.
They have to try and get Alan Bestwick in the door.
For sure.
Yep.
Allegedly, the CW is going to be similar to the FS1 broadcasts, which is a little
Oh
scary.
God.
Where
Oh no.
again, NASCAR could be putting just the broadcasters in their facility in Charlotte and broadcasting away from. So like we'll have to just kind of see how it all plays out. I'm a TV person. My day job is working in TV, so like I'm just very curious as to know how all this stuff works and how it's going to play out. But I'll be watching. I love this sport. I'm gonna jump around, find where I need to go, and watch these races.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta tune in for the future of NASCAR. That's for sure. Going to be an interesting few years with the upcoming TV deal. But guys, that is about everything that has kind of happened in the past couple weeks. Boys, you got anything else to add before we kind of wrap it up here?
I think I'm satisfied. There's a lot that's going on, and a lot to look forward to, and a lot of unknowns.
Yep, gonna be crazy rest of the silly season. We'll try to get back here in a few weeks, probably after New Year's, talk with you guys, and see if anything else comes up. Gonna be fun. Gonna be a great 2024 season already with everything that's coming up. I think Xfinity Series once again is just gonna be so stacked. It's gonna be so competitive. Just gonna be a great year.
Always is.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning into the Stock Car Spectacle. If you haven't yet, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel. You can check us out on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, that will do it for us. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to everybody out there. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Nick Kinzel.
I'm Tom Hovland.
And we'll see you guys next time.